So just letting the hips be nice and loose and warm, inhaling forward, exhaling around and back. Just a lovely moment to carve out a little time. This morning, I like to do yoga most mornings, and I had so many things to do. So it's still hips forward on the in breath and exhale around and back. I had so many things to do that I started in on the work, thinking I could get ahead. And then I just checked in and noticed that I wasn't feeling as sharp as I usually do the work. So I dropped it all and did yoga for an hour and then got back to it and felt a lot more able to focus.
Mm.
So that brings to mind that phrase that says yoga doesn't take time, it makes time. Inhaling forward, exhaling around and back. Just warming and loosening those muscles in the back. You can let the arms be loose and relaxed at your sides. Or you can let the hands just support the low back. And then we can change directions with the hips. Candace might have something going on today, and then she can catch a recording if she has a minute. Inhaling, hips forward, exhale around and back. I'm still wearing tank tops, as you can see. I I'm insisting on tank tops, and then I wear a fleece over it. But my California upbringing is hard to let go of the summertime. Inhale forward, exhaling around and back. Good. Ah, that's so nice. Good. And then let it spiral back to center and pause. Inhale, shoulders come up. Exhaling, they go around and back. Inhaling up and down and around. So I'm hoping this can create some spaciousness in our day. As we go forward with the day, we'll be glad for having done this. Inhaling up, exhaling around and down. It's a day where people are trying to handle a lot of things, at least that I've spoken to. I was going to go to a dance class this morning, and then an appointment went longer than usual, and it turned out that the dance class didn't show up till a half hour later. So it's one of those Fridays, and we just flow with that. Inhale, come the shoulders up, exhale around and down. Babaji, the teacher of my teacher, who lived into his 90s and lived in India and then Santa Cruz, he said that one who is desireless owns everything. So if you kind of let go of expectations, you can have a nicer experience. And that's his yoga training, his view. Inhaling up and exhaling around and down. And he would always say, if one person shows up, that's class. That person might really hear something they need to hear or do something that helps. So we just do class and it's great. Inhaling up, exhale around and down. Good. Very nice. Then choose an inhale and an exhale. Let that exhale bring the shoulders down, stay nice and low and relaxed. Good. And then let's take that inhale. So we have that lovely exhale, brings the head around and forward. Inhaling up and exhaling around and down. Feeling all those little stretches. I heard that more people are putting up Christmas decorations or holiday decorations, depending on what you celebrate, earlier than usual. Because I guess lots of us are at home, we might as well make it cozy. Light the menorah and put up the decorations, whatever it is. Inhaling up, exhaling around and down. Good. And then head comes up. And then exhaling around the other way. I'm getting water. I'll be right back. Yeah, let the head come up and around. And I saw something they were doing in New York near Rockefeller Center for some entertainment and things on TV. So I guess they're still doing some entertainment. Inhaling up comes the head. Let the shoulders rise up toward the ears. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I can already tell this is going to help me with the rest of my day, whatever I need to get to will be helped by this, even if people are responding to that sort of energy you have after a class. Let the shoulders get achy and then slowly they come down. Let them come down nice and low. Good. And then really let it go. Good. And then draw the shoulders up. And it's so nice to say hi to both of you. It makes the day better to keep our community together, and letting the shoulders come down and stay nice and low. I find that after I do some yoga, I can handle things with just a bit more equanimity, just underlying it, letting the shoulders come up, or at the very least, I know to stay quiet rather than get into it with some, topic. You can just kind of step back a little more and it can make your day a little more peaceful. Achy shoulders tell you when it's time to let it all out on an audible sigh. Let it go. Good. That one's supposed to be good for immunity. Let's take our wrists out to the side and roll the wrists. I take a class sometimes with an instructor who's doing Zoom from Santa Cruz, and he's always wearing shorts and a ski hat. So I was feeling like that style today. And roll the wrist the other direction. Beach wear, I guess. California living. Good. And then let's do our figure eights. I'll get a little closer so you can see. Just clasp the hands at the webbing and you roll in the figure eight, or I would guess that's a figure eight, back and around like so. Good. And see if you can reverse it and how that feels. It's a little bit of a tongue twister with your hands. Very nice. Warms up the wrist. Maybe we'll do a down dog for good measure since we've done it, and then just wiggle it out gently. Good. Very nice. Now I want to take the hands to the thighs. Let's take our back stretch. If we were in the dance studio, I'd go to the ballet bar. You could go to your wall and put your hands on the wall. Can be good support for going into, a forward bend here. But have more access just to be right here with my body on the mat. So I'll take hands to the thighs. Inhale. Exhaling, hands come down and press into the thigh bone, the thighs, just avoiding the knee joint to keep that safe. And reach out through the tailbone and out through the crown of the head. Good. Sometimes when I put a little soft music on in the room, my body responds to it. Our bodies respond to music and it can help relax us a little also. Silence is also beautiful. It lets your intuition come to you. Either way, it's lovely. Bend the knees slightly, rolling on up. Inhale or exhale if you have low blood pressure. It's optional to exhale on your way up, can help. And we'll take it once again. Hands to the top of the thighs. Inhale. Exhaling down. So nice. Just this long spine. Breathe into it. Inhaling, exhaling out through the tailbone. You draw that back and draw forward with the crown of the head. Good. And then micro bend the knees and coming on up. Good. And let's take our, I'd like to take our, just a gentle, lovely tantrum, just sort of let out some energy. Good. And you let that go. It's like a little dance if you want to think of it as that instead. And letting ourselves feel the feet on the planet. Let's take our Tadasana. So open, we'll just balance the feet under the hips. Hands come, open the hands, open the heart. And we go inhale, exhale, send your roots down into the earth from the legs, the thighs, all the way into the earth. Grow them down into the fertile soil. Good. Inhale. And exhale, send the roots down deeper, wider. One more of those. Inhale. Exhaling, send the roots into a steady depth in the earth. Good. And then you can imagine yourself as a tree for a moment, just any tree that you love, or feel that steadiness and also the flexibility of some of the branches, and be like a palm tree, have some sturdiness and also some flexibility. Good. And let's draw our breath up from our roots, up our legs, the torso, all the way up to the heart. Good. And then we exhale and let every cell of the body be nourished by that earth prana energy. Good. And once again, inhale that warm, rich earth energy up through your roots. Up your legs, up your thighs, all the way up your torso, up to your heart. Good. And then exhaling, let it permeate every cell of your body. And then letting that energy just bathe you for a moment. Good. Inhaling up from your roots once again, up through your roots, your calves, your thighs, all the way up your torso, up to your heart. And then exhaling, letting go of anything you don't any longer need. Let it go down through your roots deep into the earth. Good. And then one more time, up through the roots, draw your energy up through the earth, up through the legs, the waist, up to the heart. And then you exhale, let it permeate every cell of the body. And then let that energy expand out about 1.5 feet all the way around the body so that you're in a nice protective cocoon, your space. And it's all the way around the orb. The egg is around your front and your back, under the feet, over the head, all the way around you. Your space. Just luxuriating in that for a moment. Good. Very nice. Yes. And then letting the body start to take that gentle tassel twist. I'll be right with you. I'm going to turn on something in the kitchen. Letting the arms be, let them be nice and heavy. Let them tap your body as they go around. I'm finding that I like a little space heater in the other room and a little music in the other room, letting it drift in but be soft and gentle. It's a nice way to moderate how much stimulation you're getting. You keep it nice and relaxed. Keeps the body relaxed. Good. And as the body and back start to warm and loosen, maybe it opens up for you a bit. And if not, that's okay. Good. And then letting the body rock you to a stop. Good. And then since we have this sort of cozy weather, I thought we could do some chest openers to expand or lighten the mood. So we have this moment where we can inhale, the arms come up. We'll do some chest openers. Exhale, the arms float down as if through water. And clasp behind the back. Good. And extending the arms. Yeah. And then let's just take it down forward for a sec. Just folding at the thigh crease. So reaching through the top of the head and out the tailbone. Yeah. Good. And relax. Let the hands rest on the back. Wonderful. Good. And then micro bend the knees. And roll it coming on up. Good. And let's just take a yawn asana. So let the arms come up, inhale, and then press the hands up toward the ceiling. And then you just yawn and go side to side. And you can do a fake yawn if you don't have a real one, and sometimes it'll turn into a real one. And yawns are contagious. Another time each side, which is interesting and fascinating in itself. Good. Good. And letting the body, the arms just float back down. And then I'd like to take one more side stretch. So I'll draw the hands up toward the ceiling, and I'm going to hold my wrist like this, okay? So hold the wrist with one hand, good. And the side where you're holding the holding hand, take that foot and slip it out toward the side slightly, and then you arch to the side and get a little side stretch. And the foot to the side just gives you a little more balance and stability, which we were practicing in our Tadasana. I'm trying to fit my hand in the frame here. Good. Inhaling, exhaling, feel that nice side stretch. Very nice. Good. And then gently just roll yourself back to center. Good. Other side. So I'm going to show you, I'm holding the other wrist like this. Good. And I'll turn the foot on the side of the hand that's doing the holding. The foot turns out toward the side. Press up and over toward the side. And both sides might not feel exactly the same. And that's how the body is. So getting a nice side stretch here. Good. And then we press on up, back to center. Let the feet come back to balanced under the hips. Good. Nice. So let's take our switch our curtains over toward the side. Take some chest openers to the side this time. Good. So you swish, and then you let the front foot slip toward the side, if you can see, and the back heel slip back just slightly so that foot's at an angle. So we're headed toward the side just a little. Good. And then we just let the hips, they are facing somewhere between those 2 feet. Inhaling, up come the arms, inhale. And exhale, down behind the back and clasp. Extend the arms down, the knuckles down toward the earth. Good. Inhale, and then lift the chest like you're the figurehead of a ship. Oh, so great. Lifting that chest. Good. And then you fold at the thigh crease. Good. Any amount. And you just breathe there. You can release the tension in the arms and let the hands rest on the low back. You might get a nice flush of circulation through the back as you do that. Legs do not need to be exactly straight. You just keep them nice and supported underneath you. Breathing into that. Inhaling and exhaling. You might notice the legs starting to wiggle or shake just a little bit, and that's completely normal. We're strengthening here. It looks easy, but it's not. Yeah, re-exerting the strength in the arms, you float on back up. Very nice. And release the hands and just stay there. Let yourself breathe in and out. And then let's take a variation. So I'm going to take the arms up. Inhale. Exhale. They float down and behind and clasp. Exhale. Yeah. And then inhale. Lengthen those arms. Extend the arms. Open the chest up and gaze up toward where the ceiling meets the wall. Beautiful. And then folding at the thigh crease any amount. Once again, forward fold there is just wherever you land. And you might come down further than I am or not as far as me, and it doesn't matter. And then this time I'm going to release that tension in the arms, let the hands relax on the low back. And then I'm going to inhale, press up about an inch, press the feet into the earth to help. And then exhale, come back down slightly, about an inch. Inhale up. Exhaling, release down. You come slightly out of the stretch and then back in. Taking that in your own breath pace, a couple rounds. Good. And good. That's very nice. Extending the arms again and floating back up. My teacher used to tell a long story there, and my legs would start to just shake. And I could see how strong she was because we would stay down there quite long and just letting the hands release to the side. Good. And let's just rock side to side for just erase the chalkboard, let it go for a sec. So instead of going to the very next thing, you just pause for a sec, inhaling one side, exhaling other side. We're so lucky to have our yoga tools at this moment in history so that we get this really lovely opportunity to use it for some tools and enjoy it. Good. And then coming back to center, and I'm just going to swish the curtains aside on the other side, drawing it in this elegant gesture away from you. Letting go of what you don't need, just letting it float behind you. Swish the clouds away. Good. And then as you do this time I'm going to let the front foot slip to the side, out in front of me, and letting the back heel slip back slightly so that foot is at somewhat of an angle. And if it's, in some classes, they get pretty specific about the angle of your feet. In this style of yoga, it's, listen to your body and make sure you feel balanced and sturdy. Do it till it feels just about right. Good. And then we come to that side, let the hips face somewhere between those 2 feet to the side. And then I'm going to inhale the hands up. Reach, exhale, they float on down. Clasp, extending the arms. And we're lifting the chest up toward the sun, up toward the sky. Good. And then we fold at the thigh crease any amount. And you can let the arms remain extended for a moment or for as long as you like. If you like it, you can keep with it. And then when you've had enough of that, you let the hands remain clasped, but they relax on the back. Good. Beautiful. Breathing here. Feeling the legs like pillars, really, really supporting you. Yeah. And imagining that support just really helping you float back up here. I'm going to extend the arms again, and that helps me. I pull the hands a little away from each other, helps me float back up. And release the hands, let it go. Take a breath or two, just let that settle. Good. And let's take that second variation. Arms come up, inhale. And exhaling down and around and clasp. And exhaling, Inhaling, extending the arms. Good. And then I'm just going to float forward. And this time I'm going to choose a moment to let the hands relax again on the back. And then inhale, I float up about an inch. Exhale down again. Into the stretch about an inch. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. I love the sound of the rain. Inhaling up slightly, exhaling back into the stretch. Yoga is a funny thing because sometimes we do it somewhat regularly and we start to feel kind of okay, and then we stop doing it because we feel sort of okay. And then it's similar with meditation. And then you realize things start to not go quite as smoothly as they were. And it's like, oh yeah, it's because I'm not doing yoga. So extending the arms and floating back up. Good. And then you just get to get back to your yoga when it feels like a good time. Let the arms come back to center. Good. So that's what the Yoga Sutras say. Let's come back to center and just rock side to side. Which says now yoga, meaning this is whatever you're doing right now is your yoga. And it also means that in order for the yoga to work for you, you have to do it. Yeah. So side to side. And you can do little amounts, which is the beauty of it. And the yogis say you have lifetimes to get to it. So that's nice to know. If you believe in that kind of thing, you've got plenty of time. Good. And let's take our legs a little wide. Yeah. And then I'm going to take the hands to the knees. Let's take a goddess twist. So I'm going to take opposite shoulder toward opposite knee, and keep the knees aligned over the second toe. The toes are slightly turned out, but keep that knee alignment. Good. And then the opposite shoulder to opposite knee, just guiding it to that side. A little twist. Good, and coming up to center and other side, opposite shoulder toward opposite knee. It doesn't matter how far you're bending over, just do it so it works for your body. Make it so it feels delicious. We're not striving. Good, and come to center. Take it one more time each side if that feels interesting and useful. Nice stretch to the side. Good, and up to center, over other side, opposite knee, opposite shoulder, come toward each other, energetically at least. Good. Lovely. Come back to center like an umpire. Yeah, and then you just heel toe the feet back together and come back to standing. Good. Good, let's come into our squat to transition. So we'll come down to start getting down toward the floor. So I'm going to take my squat and I'm going to breathe into the belly. Inhaling, exhaling, nice belly breath, palms to the earth. Good, and then I'll take the Bastrika breath, bellows like a dog, pant through the nose. Good, and let that go. Just do nice, easy, mellow breathing. nourishing, sending the breath to all corners of the body. Good, and then one more time with the Bastrika. Good, and then just relax and breathe regular into the belly. So nice. Good, and let's come to hands and knees. Well, first, before we do that, let's come into child's pose and rest. We just did some work, so let's rest. So you let the hips come back toward the heels, if that works for your knees, or you can let the butt be up and come down and relax onto your elbows, if that's better for your knees. So take care of your body. So I'm just going to let myself release down onto the floor. You can let knees be wide, or you can with the big toes touching, or you can let the knees come right underneath you, whichever you prefer. And then you can stack your palms, rest the head, breathe. Nice and easy, breathing into the back body, just taking a moment to rest. And this is where my teacher from Santa Cruz lets us stay here for a nice long while. And he's a rock climber, which sounds kind of athletic, but he's very good at taking a breather. So we'll do that. Inhaling and exhaling, letting yourself just really let go. Good. Good. And then let's come on to all fours. Let the back be nice and straight, like a tabletop. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Good. And then let's just take a few cat cows. So inhale, lift the breastbone and the tailbone up. Exhaling round the back like a Halloween cat. Inhale, arch. Exhaling round. Inhaling, arch again. Exhaling round. Good. A few more rounds in your own breath pace. So good. Good, and let's come back again and rest, this time with arms extended. And this time we can just let the spine be long here as we reach, as long as it's okay for your shoulders. Just check in with your body. Good, and then I'm going to walk the hands to one side. Get a side stretch, side body. Good. Walk the hands to the center and walk them back to the other side. Release the head. Let yourself get that nice stretch. You can stack the palms if you need or want a little more stretch, or let that inner elbow of the inner arm Come down toward the floor can give you a little more stretch. And if you were just fine with the amount of stretch you were getting to begin with, you stay with that. Most of the time, I like the first option just fine. But I give you other options in case you just find one that really floats your boat. Good. And then coming back to center here. And let the arms be long. Yeah. Good. And then you come back up to center here. Ah, good. And then just closing the eyes for a sec. You can sit in a comfortable seat or stay with your kneeling position, but make sure the knees are happy. And just breathe in and out a few rounds of breath. Take yourself down into your yoga elevator. And breathe. Let the body assimilate a bit of what you've already just done. Good. Nice. And then let's come to a seat on the floor here. Take a few moments to just sit and feel the support of the floor. And I'm going to come close so you can see perhaps a little better this mudra where, let's try this, where you place the thumbs behind the earlobes. And then you take the pinky toward the inner corner of the eye and the pointer finger toward the outer corner of the eye. And then you just lean the head forward and release the head toward the hands, and just you get this light pressure in all those spots. So the thumbs are in underneath the earlobe, sort of in that little divot. There's a little spot behind it. And you just let the head rock forward, making sure that you know that you've recently washed your hands. We're all being savvy about that these days. If you need to plan accordingly, just adjust. So just letting yourself rest the head forward here, sort of like resting your head on the desk when teacher tells you to relax after recess because everyone's rowdy, and it helps you kind of cool down. So breathing there for a few rounds. Very nice. Good. And once you feel like you've gotten a nice effect from that, a nice contentment, you let that go and let the head just rise up slowly. Notice how that feels. Good. So after doing that, I don't even feel like moving back to my spot for a sec. I just sort of want to absorb it and relax. So I'm going to close my eyes and let that happen for a sec. Inhaling and exhaling. And all this while, it's helping our body assimilate all the other poses we've done already for the session. It's sort of like that energy is still swirling a little and coming back to a balance as we give ourselves a little stillness to let it absorb and cycle through. Very nice. And then just coming back to my spot where you can see, I'm going to take one leg in, one leg out. And let's just take a few rotations. Inhale, center. And exhaling around over the knee and around and forward. Good, and taking just a few of these. Inhaling up and exhaling around and forward. Yeah. Maybe one more. The yogis say that 4 of anything is very stable. Sometimes they use numbers to create an energy. You come back up to center, just pause. So I think that was about 4. Inhale and exhale, that mudra breath, just erase the chalkboard. Remember those Etch-a-Sketch toys when, at least when I was a kid in the 70s, those Etch-a-Sketches, you sort of shake it, like it just erases all the drawings and you just let it go. Whatever you're doing, you let it go. Good, and draw the straight leg in, switch sides. Extend the other leg, inhale, center. And exhaling around and forward. Inhaling up. And exhaling around and down. Inhale up. And exhale. I think that's around 3. You don't have to count at all, but I'm enjoying the 4s. And we'll take one more. Exhaling over that knee and around and down. Good. Very nice. Pause in the center. Very good. And let's just take it to the floor briefly. I wanted to share an idea that Candace shared with me. And so let's just lay on our backs and we'll take the teardrop pose with a slight variation from what one of my teachers does it. Candace had another memory of it. So let's try it. So laying down on your back, just let the floor take your weight. And take a load off, as the saying goes. Breathing into the belly to ease any tension out of the low back. And then breathing into the chest to ease any tension out of the upper back. Very good. And draw the knees to yourself. Give yourself a little squeeze. One hand on each knee can work nice. So let's give this a whirl. I'm going to take the soles of the feet toward each other. Let the knees release out to the side. So we're in this Baddha Konasana sort of pose. And what I'd like to do, I'm going to take the hands to the ankles, or the shins, wherever you can reach. So soles of the feet somewhat together as much as you can. And here I'm going to draw the knees, or the ankles rather, in toward the chest. Inhale. Good. Exhale that stretch, but not the hands. You let them hold to the ankles. And then here is slightly different. We're going to draw the knees in, the ankles in once again. Inhale. And then exhale the feet up toward the sky, teardrop. So you get this teardrop shape between the legs in the negative space if you are interested in art. Good. And then you exhale, bring the legs back down with the feet still touching, holding the ankles, knees are wide. Let the elbows rest in toward the inner thigh. You might get a little nice stretch there. Just right there. Good. And then we can take it once more. So holding the ankles, draw the heels toward the chest. Inhale. Exhale, release the stretch, but not the legs. And then inhale, draw the feet toward the chest once more. Yeah, and then exhale, draw the feet up toward the ceiling so the inner edges of my feet are still touching. Maybe not exactly sole to sole, but in that neighborhood. And I'm holding somewhere around my ankles or shins as your back allows. Good, and then you exhale, feet come back to rest, and the ankles are still held by your hands. Just inhale, exhale there. We'll take it again once more, but kind of pause after two and just relax for a sec. Good. Very nice. And then I'm going to take it one more time. So draw the ankles toward the heels toward the chest. Inhale. Exhale, release the stretch. Holding the ankles. Inhale, draw the ankles, the heels toward the chest once again. Exhale, release the feet up toward the sky. Still holding on to the ankles or the shins. Teardrop shape. Good, and then exhale, feet float back down while you're holding. Yeah, good. And then you just release the feet gently back toward you bring the knees in, perhaps parallel, and then just release the feet back toward the floor very gently. Just let yourself breathe and release for a moment. Just do nothing but breathing. Good. And then, if you like, I'm going to draw the knees back toward my chest. Good. And let the hands come toward the outer or the inner edges of the feet, which means we can take our happy baby pose. So the knees are at somewhat of a right angle. And the knees come down toward the floor and the hands toward the outer or inner edge of the foot. And you just let that be a nice shape wherever you feel it. And you can rock side to side if you want to massage the back a little. Very nice. If you want, when you rock to one side, you can bring one knee toward the floor and the other one extends slightly up toward the sky. And then back to center, and then extend the other foot toward the sky, knee down on the opposite side. Get a slightly nice variation here on your happy baby. A couple times each side. Nice massage in the back body, the kidney area, where we hold our long-term energy. Good, and you can just release the feet, bring the knees back to center, maybe give yourself one more hug. And from there, I'm going to circle the knees with the hands, one hand on each knee, and just circle the knees so we get a nice massage of the sacrum here. Good, and then change directions with the circle of the knees. And you just do that till you feel even on both directions. Good, and then give yourself a little hug there. Squeeze the knees. And then I'm just going to roll over to my side. Let the head rest onto the lower arm. And breathe a couple breaths, doing nothing but breathing. Good. Very nice. And then I'm just going to sort of roll forward just slightly with my body so the navel is pointing down toward the earth as I press on up with the strength of my arms. Head is heavy and comes up last. Turning the navel toward the floor helps that transition be a little more fluid or cat-like. Good. And then just coming to a comfortable seat and getting used to sitting upright again. And if you want to just stay on the floor and take a shavasana, you let the session finish and you don't even have to come up and say hi. You can just stay right where you are. So feel free if you've got a nice moment to rest. And let's take a few circles with the torso. Inhaling up, exhaling around and forward. Few in each direction. Good, and then pausing in the center, maybe inhale there and then exhale the other direction. Inhaling still as you come up and exhaling around and forward. Good. And then choosing an inhale to come up and stay up. Good. And then we take the shoulders, inhaling up, exhaling around and down. Very nice. Breath and movement linked together. Good. And then take it the other direction. Inhaling, the shoulders come up. Exhaling around and down. Good. Good. And then choosing an out breath to let the shoulders come down and stay nice and low and relaxed. Inhaling there. And so you have that lovely exhale to let the head come around and chin forward and around and up. Good. Inhale again and exhale around and down. Keeping the neck nice and spacious on the way up, nice and supported, and taking it one more time. Feeling all those little stretches around to the side. Inhale to the center and switching directions with the head when you're ready. You don't have to do it right when I say, and you don't have to do it at all if you already like what you're doing. Exhaling around and down, inhaling up, just like before. Good. Good, and then rise the head up on an in-breath. Very good. Let's draw the hands into our Anjali Mudra, which is palms together. And however, in this one, I'm going to just let the fingertips touch let there be just a little bit of space between the palms, and rest the thumbs on the breastbone, the sternum, and just breathe there. That can be really calming for the mind. So we'll practice that for a few rounds of breath. This one makes a connection between the right and left brain hemispheres. Breathing in, breathing out. Just watching the breath for a moment. We're just feeling the body supported by the earth, the rhythm of your heartbeat. And think of your feet. Good. And then I'd just like to read Babaji's quote. And it says, "Desirelessness is bliss. Live in desires without desire. There is no technique, only understanding. One who doesn't desire anything owns everything." And Babaji would always like play volleyball with his students and be very involved with people, but there's just an even sort of equanimity he uses there. So on our next inhale, draw the hands away from yourself, let the palms face up. And exhaling, palms together in front of the heart. And may we live like the lotus at home in the muddy waters. Thank you. Thank you for coming to class, everyone. Very nice to see you and practice together. And I'll see you same time, same place next time. I'm going to give Candace a call, see what she's up to. Ciao, everyone.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.